I do technical editing, so I have a non-engineering kind of perspective on some stuff. And I want to talk to you guys today about the BeagleBone Black. There are a lot of projects using it, and a lot of projects are really complex and big that you see. So if you guys have seen David Lang's Open ROV, the underwater robot, that's using a BeagleBone Black. There's a cool LED spinning wheel back there. I forget the name of it. That's using a BeagleBone Black. So I'm going to just show you what you can do with it. So a BeagleBone Black is very tiny, and it fits in an Altoids tin. I don't have one here with me, but this is my little enclosure that I like to use. So this is the Black with a prototyping cape on it. I've got one here. You can look at it. So in the world, in the ecosystem of the BeagleBone Black, oh, there's the Altoids tin, and so you guys can see that. That's Jason Kreidner. He's a TI guy and Bone Script. So some of the stuff we're talking about, it's his stuff. So I've got my USB cable. It comes with a BeagleBone Black. I'm just going to plug it into my laptop. The board's going to boot, and we're going to check out some slides. So this is an out-of-box experience example. So just plug in the USB. So Boris is 5 years old. We had a birthday party in Michigan, and it's fun, right? You guys are smiling, but Boris is fun. And so there are Beagle boards. There are 2 Beagle boards, and there are 2 BeagleBones. The one that probably will interest you the most is BeagleBone Black, which obviously I'm talking about. So it's 45 bucks, and you get everything you need to work with it. So here's a big blown up picture of it, showing the different processors. The eMMC is where it stores the Linux distribution Angstrom. So when you get it, it comes pre-flashed. You just plug it in, and you get to have fun with it. So here's a more expansive blowout of all the different components. And this is like a scary schematic, right? So it's open hardware, which means you could look at the schematics, figure it out. You can look at the BOM, the bill of materials. You have access to all of that. You can actually buy the Satara chip that's in the BeagleBone Black. I wouldn't recommend, building your own, but you, I guess, could. All right, so my web browser should have booted up. And let's see here. All right. Oh no, I was feeling adventurous, and that's bad sometimes. So I'm just going to replug the USB in. And what I'm trying to do is, over the USB, I'm going to be serving up an IP address. And I will send my web browser to that IP address. This is the out-of-box experience you have. You just connect to the Beagle, and once it loads, it's coming up. You can see the lights are active, and all right, so anyway, I actually dressed up as Boris. I had a full body Boris costume, and Jason and Drew and I went down to Good Morning America, and that was interesting. I don't recommend being Boris, but I recommend using the BeagleBone. So I don't know, oh, there we go. So look, that is being served up. This page is being served up from the board over the USB. So what's awesome about this, how many of you guys had issues connecting with your cell phones today, right? Like trying to send a tweet, that was not easy. So I'm completely self-contained here. And this is running on the board, so I can check out the platform. And you can see here JavaScript that's already written, right? And you're probably wondering, well, this is kind of weird. What does it do? Well, let's find out. I'll run it. And it gives me some vitals of the Beagle board, or BeagleBone rather. Then we have all these examples. So the get platform, get pin mode. So you kind of see in the functions here that it's a little Arduino-like in terms of its simplicity, right? So it's not trying to be Arduino. It's trying to just be accessible. Another cool thing is when we go to the demos, there's a demo area when you load up the board. And like I said, I haven't done anything special. I'm just plugging the board in and running it. So I can look at a pressure and temperature sensor, which is sort of uniquely, it's a good thing to have today. I think there's a storm coming from what I hear. So the code is all written. I could start changing this. I mean, I could put in a little comment, hi. Obviously, you could type your own code and change it. And here it shows the Bone Script is initialized. Bone Script is a Node.js library that's designed to easily interface with the GPIO. So you can see there's an expansive GPIO. Hopefully you can see that. I don't want to switch cameras because it kind of takes time. But So you're a coder, right? You know how to program. What about circuits? Well, we've got a little circuit example, and the fritzing right there. So you can see, you can buy the part from Adafruit. You can put it on your proto board and wire it up, and it will run, and the code is there. So you can instantly get out-of-box experience building circuits and getting coding immediately. And I think that's really, really great. So I would go up here. I had an issue with the wire. These little wires, they didn't like being in my bag, so, but I would run it and see, so it's spitting out data that is not correct. I think one of the wires slipped the plug. So that stuff is great. There is an entire ecosystem of capes. So we talked about the proto board cape, so these are 2 examples. There are capes, there's a guy just over there who's going to do an FPGA on a cape. That is pretty crazy. That's way more technical than I want to get, but it's available. You know, I mentioned David Lang's OpenROV, so you can have an undersea robot. There are capes for breaking out to the Lego motors. The Lego EV3, the new Lego EV3 uses a similar type of chip, but not the same chip. And I'm trying to think of other cool capes. So with capes, when you see them online, you'll see, are they compatible with the black? Are they compatible with the white? One sort of tricky thing is that not all capes are compatible with both, despite the same form factor. So when you're looking for a cape, make sure that there's compatibility, and do your research, and enjoy the ease of using this. So I guess that's pretty much about it. Do you guys have any questions about just like getting into this, getting started with it? Does anyone? If you have really tough ones, I'll offload them to Jason. No? All right. Yeah. Do we have a little? All right. That way I can hear you and everyone can. There's a mic coming for you. Thank you.
Hi.
Oh. All right.
Hi.
Hi.
So say you built your circuit, you've plugged all the outputs into the GPIO.
Yes.
What happens when you want to actually finish it or make it so that the pins won't fall off if you put it in, say, like a toy robot or a ROV or something?
Okay, that's a good question. So you have access to all the hardware files for like there's a basic cape design, right? Yeah, so you can have access to that. And in the program that you're designing, like if you're using Fritzy, I'm not sure. I understand you want to like take a cape and make it permanent, right? Okay, so a breadboard, yeah. So what you would do is you would take something like this. It's just single, it's not electrically connected, and you could solder into it, and just like you would with a perf board. But if you wanted to get really extreme, there are the design files, and you could actually build your own cape, right? That's what OpenROV does. They have their own cape, and it's really pretty elaborate, doing a very specialized task. And so that's one of the beauties about the BeagleBone Black, is if you want to do something very specific, it's very good at that, and you can channel all your resources to do that. Or it can be a platform where you're learning to code and learning how to interface with the environment and pushing data to the web. So it's a real robust platform. So anyone else? All right, going once. Jason, do we have any stickers? All right, so guys, stickers. Who doesn't, how can you not like Boris? It's an awesome dog. Jason's got some stickers, and thanks a lot for coming out.